This 2.1-ton piece of Wallace sandstone was also a new addition to the Wallace and Area Museum. Stan Flynn, owner of Wallace Quarries, donated this stone. We also held a stone cutting demonstration to celebrate the famous Wallace sandstone. Featured were Murdock Oxley, former stone cutter, quarry owner Stan Flynn, and restoration stonemason Heather Lawson.
Well, folks, who says that it's always sunny in Wallace? We have it for it. We ordered it today. We have it. And on behalf of the directors of the Wallace and Area Museum, I would like to welcome you. We have a resource manager who was turned into a stone cutter today. And without any further ado, I turn it over to our resource manager, David Dewar.
That was quick. That was a good speech. Anyway, we decided a long time ago that we wanted to honor the people that worked in the quarry and tell some people about how things were in the quarry. And the only reason I know, I guess, is because it's passed down through my family. We have a couple of people here that worked in the quarry, at least two. Murdock Oxley, who worked 42 years, and Stan is the quarry owner here, and his son Tom too. They both work with stone still today. And I guess any one of them probably should do this more than me, but I'll be doing it. Stan came down and helped me split a stone. We shouldn't have, because it was the only stone I had that was good. So practice it. We ruined the good stone, and hopefully this will work today. The stone quarries, there's quite a few quarries in the area. There's at least 4 on the Wallace River, and they go back to about 1809. The Batty Quarry and the Scott Quarry, and my grandfather's Dewar Quarry, and there's a Mead Quarry. The other one, Stan? Scott. Anyway, there's quite a few quarries, and the problem with, or the reason they were up there is because there wasn't as much overburden. You didn't have to clean it away. There was outcropping on the side of the river, I guess. And then in 1863, the quarry opened in Wallace, and Stan manages now. And it's been a great quarry over the years. A lot of buildings have come from it. We've got some pictures here. I guess the last major one would be the Centennial building in PEI. Confederation building in PEI. Beautiful stone. But of the quarries in the area, there's been a lot of, I guess the restoration at the Lewisburg, a lot of stone came from here for that. What else?
And don't forget the Peace Tower in Ottawa.
Yeah, from the quarries in the area, there's been Parliament buildings, and some of the Parliament buildings, and some of the Nova Scotia Legislature comes from here. That was the first major building, and other buildings. So we do post offices and small jobs and larger jobs. It's a pretty free stone. Stan has given us quite a bit of stone in the last few weeks. This is a sample of the stone that comes from the quarry here in Wallace. And that's about 2 ton. He's told me that it's about 147 pounds a cubic foot, the stone in Wallace. So that's you can see on the natural bed surface where my gloves are in the camera, you can see little imprints of fossils and branches and leaves and things. But basically that's what they want, is a clear stone right there for building. The story is there was a farmer driving fence posts, and he couldn't drive them, and then he discovered that it was solid stone, and cleaned it out. Anyway, that's on a video. Anybody wants to see the Wallace video, they can get that little story. This is they used to drill stones by hand. The beds lay in layers. I guess they're varying depths, but usually not more than 4 feet, Stan, the layers, the beds. Anyway, they would drill these by hand in the old days. This is a drill, they did it by hand. And so there'd be 2 guys, I usually have to hold those things for. 2 guys, 1 on each side. Two people with maul hammers, 1 on each side. You can stand here. And there'd be 1 guy in the middle who was awful afraid of his hands, no doubt. And the guy on this side would hit the thing. and then there'd be a quarter turn, and the guy on this side. And you can just imagine how long that would take. A quarter turn, then hit it again. That would be a drill. Murdock's done this, eh?
Yep.
They had to have several holes in a line. They put a reamer down, but it's a chisel with a broad base. It would help align the blast. So the hole that's already drilled, this would be pounded down. Len tells me, I didn't know till yesterday, that there was a metal fitting that would keep this from turning, and it would fit on the stone. So when this is pounded down, there'd be scar marks right down the side of the hole. And when it was filled with powder and the blast would go, these scar marks would project the blast out. So you'd blast out a rock. There would have to be an open face.
That's the way it was supposed to work.
It didn't always work, you know, that's right. But, so you cut little holes in a line, you want where they want the break to be made, and you put these metal pieces in called gads. And as Stan told me the other day, that the hole is made so that the point of the gad doesn't touch the bottom. It's a wedge. So you want the force to be pushing out on each side, not touching the bottom. If it touches the bottom, then it's no good. Right, Stan? And it took us about an hour to do this the other day. And we cut a nice piece of stone, but I thought I'd cut it the other way if it would work. So what? So basically, I just did it, and then a little crack forms. Anybody wants to see this? I hope it's gone. I carved a line here with a point tool. I scored the line so the crack, so it would follow the crack. Hopefully, as Stan just said a minute ago, it doesn't always work the way you want it. And then you just pound these things in. This one's loose. It's cracking there now.
There it is.
Good. Right on that crack. Stands out. What you told me the other day, somebody took a big piece of stone like this down, or bigger than this, down to Antigonish, and they
jumped up in the back of the truck and cut it.
It's too heavy to lift off the way it was. So they just a guy went up and cut little holes all around. You put the gads all the way up sides and across the top and down. You cut it in two. And, yeah, this takes somebody that doesn't know what they're doing like me quite a while. So to get a good surface for anything, for fireplaces or anything, you want to take the end up? I won't go too far.
We'll all duck.
Now anyway.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
So you cut that down to size, and then you use, where's the other chisel? To polish a stone, use a thing called a rubber. So this is a rubber, and they used, it was filled full of sand. I used a heavier grit here than they probably used. They got sands from different places, didn't they, Stan? I knew there's 2 or 3 places that they different grades of sand. Beach sand was actually free, so they used that, I imagine, most of the time. It had to be screened. What we have here today isn't screened, but this is something we can all try here. Some of these rubber stands had them. Some of them are 36 inches by 24 inches. The good Tom. Anyway, this is a small one that one person can use, but the bigger ones 2 people used it. In Murdock.
Some of them.
So you want to demonstrate it?
Big ones used to weigh about 100 pounds.
I know. I used to do this for my father, and he'd get mad at me with 3 seconds because the water get all of them. See?
That's what you do for 10 hours now.
So this is it. You get it down to pretty good. It's wearing it down. It's just like this is a weight. The sand. There's holes in the bottom of this, and with water and the action, the sand goes down through, and it acts as a like sandpaper. I don't know.
A
It
polisher.
smooths it, yeah. It polishes it.
Just like
The different grades.
Just like sandpaper would. It's the sand going down, polishing it.
It's a polish, like a
That
polisher.
one's got the sandstone jeans too.
No one's going to say.
So I'll show you the I get you, Murdock. Anybody want to try this? We're going to put the other sand in. As Stan said, and I should have done this morning, they would screen the sand before they put it in. Because if you get anything coarse in it,
They leave holes.
yeah, it make big grooves in it.
Yeah.
I guess we're going to have to put up with a...
Groove.
We don't plan on selling our product here. So if you go over the edge, and the hole is right there over the edge, and the water will run out. So the idea is to keep it on the surface before, to polish as far as you can to the edge, but not let one of those holes empty over the end. Watch your clothes. So the finer the grate, the smoother, the more polished the surface would be.
Do you want to try it? Yeah.
Right, Bill?
How much flat surface could one person produce in a day's work?
How long would it take to do a stone, Stan?
Oh, it all depends. If you were a deep hole and you had to sand that hole right out.
That's right.
If it was smooth,
You wanted the guy that cut this ridges down to a smooth surface. You want that as smooth as you can get before you start to polish. If the guy was a good stone cutter, and there were a lot of good stone cutters, they could get it pretty smooth.
We have a special guest here
Good.
today with Heather Lawson, and she's a restoration stonemason, and she works with Wallace sandstone today, so we can have a little example, see how Wallace stone is used today and the different tools that she uses and how they were different from what the old stone cutters used to have.
Not much difference. So my mallet is a spun nylon, and his was wood, and the reason we use these now, same, you see his is cracking, it dries out and cracks.
Yep.
And these don't do that. This is my small one. We use one that's
So this is spun nylon mallets now.
this size, and then down to this size.
They carved those things in the old days, those gargoyles, those things in churches. How did they do that?
Same way we do it today.
They wouldn't have templates for that.
No, but most stone cutting is based on geometrics. You have to start with a square stone if you want it to sit square, even if it's a complete carving. And then it's just a matter of chipping away till you get it.
Why would you choose this career over something else?
I like old buildings for starters, and then I like working with my hands. And I didn't know what I was getting into when I started. I was quickly enlightened.
Thomas Hardy would love your work, I'm sure.
Pardon?
Thomas Hardy would love your work. He was a church architect.
Right.
Loved the sort of work you do now. Must be very few doing this kind of work.
Well, we're really fortunate in this province because the government, when they went to restore Province House, instead of just bringing a company in to do it, they brought in a British company and they trained. They started off with 12 of us and 10 of us finished. So they had, there was at one time 10 ticketed new stonemakers.